Yes.
Welcome to the Monday Motivation with Eric and Friends podcast with your host, Eric F. King, featuring world-class speakers, coaches, and consultants. Join us every Monday as we dive into empowering conversations that motivate, inspire, and educate entrepreneurs. Kickstart your week with valuable insights that help you not just survive, but thrive. This is your go-to podcast to start your week strong and live your best life. Let's make Mondays the fuel for your success journey.
All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Motivational Monday. My name is Eric F. King, and I am so excited to be here with you. A couple reasons. Number one, we have some incredible speakers, and we have a great topic today. All right. So today I'm joined by Leah Garcia, Eni Asung, and Zan Anagru. And it's great to be here with you because every day is a blessing. Every day is a blessing, right? Look, some people went into the weekend and never came out. We all came out. We are all here. So if you say you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. If you say you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but you woke up, so be grateful. Be grateful. All right. So today we have a great topic, and it's called Success Leaves Clues, right? What top entrepreneurs do differently, right? There are a lot of entrepreneurs out there, but there are also a lot of entrepreneurs that don't actually build the business the right way. And it's not their fault, right? It's not their fault. It's because we are not taught how to build a business in school, right? In school, we're taught to get a degree or a diploma and then go work for someone that built a business. Right. So we're not taught how to build a business. So it's events like this, calls like this, where you actually learn how to be an effective entrepreneur. And we're going to dive into that. Okay. So for those of you that are joining us from all over the world, just put a comment in the chat, say hi, tell us where you're zooming in from. All right. As we kick off our call for this morning. All right. So the first speaker that I want to bring up on stage is a woman that I've been working with for a while. She's helping people from all over the world, and she is a financial strategist, right? So she helps people make money, invest money, basically all things money. She's the one that you want to look to. Also, wait, did I just say, did I see RIP for Pope? What does that mean? I guess I hope it's not what I thought it means. But anyway, we'll keep going. I got distracted by that. Okay. So our speaker, she helps people, like I said, all things money. And she has a great ebook, by the way. Pick it up sometime, while she's speaking or afterwards. All right. So she's also a black belt, a third-degree black belt, which means she's a very disciplined person, and also means you don't want to get in a fight with her. Right? You don't want to get in a fight with her. But she always brings value. And she is actually zooming in today from California, where it is 4:04 in the morning. Think about that. Can you commit to your business so much as to join a call at 4:04 in the morning when you don't have to? So there's your first tip. All right. So without further ado, let me go out to California to hear from our good friend Leah Garcia. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Eric F. King of Collaboration. Well, happy Money Monday. I love this. I love the challenge of doing this. And I say, if you got up on the wrong side of the bed, go back to bed, roll to the other side, and then get up. Okay, we can do this, champions. I promise you'll be okay. I'm here zooming in from the jungle today, fighting the lions and tigers and bears to bring this conversation to you. Okay. And you know what? Entrepreneurs, I love this topic. Success leaves clues. And what do entrepreneurs do differently? We do everything differently. We walk differently. We talk differently. We think differently. So if I was an employee and I had a 9 to 5 job, and my employer called me at 3 a.m., I would not be answering the phone because I don't get to work. I don't punch in until 9 o'clock. right? Entrepreneurs do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, champions. And we even handle our money differently. So think about this. Entrepreneurs, we pay ourselves first. If you're an employee, you pay Uncle Sam first. You pay Uncle Sam first. He is already into your check before you ever cash it. And if you don't believe me, look at this FICA. Do you know who FICA is? Well, that's what we call it in the US. So if you are currently an employee, you currently have a job, and you are starting your entrepreneurship, you are going to have some challenges. You're going to start feeling a little dizzy because it is two completely different mind shifts. It is two completely different ways of thinking. You're going to feel a little lost in the sauce like a meatball because you're going to have a lot of different things coming at you. So I'm going to give you 3 golden nuggets on how entrepreneurs think differently. You know, in karate, we call it kaizen. What is little changes over time that have tremendous results. You're going to have to do it every day, day after day after day after day. And how long does it take? I don't know, until the job gets done. And then guess what? We go and do it all over again, because even a dripping faucet can break through a boulder, but it doesn't do it in one day. It does it over time. And you have to be willing to do that. You got to be willing to get up, whatever it takes. Number 2, we master our craft. You know, to be a master, you cannot dabble. You've got to be all the way in. You got to get all the way wet. You got to go to trainings. You got to get certified. Maybe you need to get licensed. It never ends. There's always another level. There's always another level of you and always another level of training, because you never know who's in the audience. See, I always assume that there's somebody who's licensed in the audience. I always assume that there's somebody who knows about money in the audience. And if you're dabbling, you're going to get, somebody's going to eat your lunch. I don't know how to say it. You are going to eat somebody else is going to eat your lunch. And number 3, folks, take imperfect action. Entrepreneurs are willing to muck it up. We understand that will be messy in the beginning. When I first started doing this with Eric, it was an audio. And I only spoke for a few minutes, and that was it. I didn't do anything else. And it was wonderful. I said, I could do that once a week. No big deal. And then he said, well, now it's going to be an hour. And then, when he told me now we're going to be on video, and now I got to get up at 2:30 so I could do my hair, my makeup. So you know what? But I was willing to take imperfect action. And you can too. You absolutely can, because you are a champion. You are on this call because you came here to win. You came here to have something better for yourselves. You're not here by accidents. There are no accidents. You are here by design. You are supposed to be here. You're supposed to hear this message, but you're also supposed to take action. We can't just get this story, hear this stuff, hear these nuggets, and then go back to bed and go back to our lives. No, we got to wake up. It is our chance, our time to wake up. Zig Ziglar says it this way: success isn't owned, it's rented. And the rent is due every single day. The rent is due every single day. You can't just do it once. Well, you could do it once, but then you know what? You ain't going to win. I hate to tell you that, but that's just the way it is. If this is your year to thrive, you got to get up day after day after day after day and be willing to do it. And you know what? You can, because you're a champion. You absolutely can. You're the one in your family to change your last name forever. So that's my time, Eric. I hand it back to you.
Wow, I was muted there. What I was saying was profound. You guys just didn't hear it. We appreciate that, Leah. Always great to listen to you in the morning. My goodness, you give us so many nuggets. Thank you so much for that. All right, so we are going to keep going. We're going to keep going from California. We're going to go all the way to Europe. All right, and hear from my good friend, the fame expert. This is a guy that makes you famous. So do you want to be famous? Do you want him to put you out there? Because someone once told me, Eric, I want to be out there, but not out there. I said, well, if you want to make money, you have to be out there. So he will get you out there. All right. He is the guy that actually introduced me to LinkedIn as a way to build a business and meet business people, right? I used to think it's a place for, to get a job, right? But he really introduced me to sharing messages with masses of people, and hopefully he'll give you some tips on that today. All right. So without further ado, let me send it out to my good friend Any Usung. The floor is yours.
Yeah, far too kind, Eric. Thank you so much for your kind words. Hopefully, I can return the compliments. I guess I can tell our friends at least that you have transformed my business with your sales training. So, you trained me, you trained my team, and we learned some lessons, Eric. It's not about selling. It's about confidence in yourself and what you do, which relates back to our topic today. If you ask me, right? What do successful leaders do differently? There's so much that we could share on this. There's so much that we can share, but we haven't got the time individually to go through everything. So you're gonna have to stack what we're saying on top of each other, really. Isn't it? What Queen Leah just said is important. It's very important. So I'm probably gonna go a slightly different route on the topic. I guess to try and simplify what I've learned in 10 years of running a business, maybe 14 years. I was running a charity before that. And I come down to, is it three things? Three things all mixed up. Now, Queen Leah made a very good point. You have to do the right things all the time for as long as it takes. That's an important part of the lesson, right? So let me start by saying the leader is a custodian of certain things. Now, let's bear those things in mind. Those things come down to the what, the why, and the how. There's a million more things beside that, my friends. So don't just take those three as, if I got this three, then I'm done, right? There's a lot more things. Now, when I say we're in charge of the what are we here for as a business? Why are we here? See, the leader is the one who understands the customer's needs above all else, and they are driven by this. This is what they live for. To give you a simple example, Steve Jobs had this. He had this solution. Phones with color screens, a computer that never breaks down. He knew what he wanted to create, and that we must be on the same level. He was driven by this. This is what he lived for, right? We must understand our customers' needs more than anyone else. Start there, right? Once you understand your customers' needs, then you begin to do what I call a visionary mindset. We must create a solution. We must have this. We must be able to see how to solve the customer's pain. That's a mindset that's based on innovation, based on a solution that's different to all others, and something that genuinely works for our customers. And it's all about the customers at the end of the day, right? So when we have that mindset, then we can begin to do, I guess, the how, right? How are we going to do this? Now, no leader can build a business by themselves. Let's be clear, right? We need a team for a reason, right? Even though my job as a leader is to get everyone to do what it takes to deliver that solution I just talked about, that visionary mindset thing that I just talked about, right? We must create that team that can do it. Now, part of doing it, the how, is simply creating a way we do things around here. We must create that system, the systems to create a solution, to deploy the solution. We must bring the people together to do the work that needs doing. What we can't do ourselves, that we have to be willing to get experts to do those bits, right? But we must create a way of doing things around here, we can't just do stuff randomly, right? We must create that way, that culture. Now, part of that culture, my friends, is there's many parts: managing people, managing resources, getting money in, all that stuff. That's all important. But at the heart of what we as leaders do, the successful ones, my friends, is we can manage emotions of people. We know how to get people to do what needs doing. Come together, focus on the mission, and do what needs doing. That doesn't mean that we'll scream at people. That's probably one of my failures as a leader. I fire people very quickly, I have to say. But at least, if you fall foul of the why we're here, if you don't respect my customers, I will fire you. But that's my limitation. Good leaders will find a way to get through to people that there's a better way to do this, and we must find that better way. Ultimately, love your customers, put the systems in to deliver for them, and take people with you. That's my plea today, Eric. I'm done.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom. All right. So I'm gonna just share a few points. And it's funny because again, he stole my thunder. Some of the things I wanted to say, you said, which just means, hey, like we think alike, right? We think alike. So I'm gonna just give a few pointers here. If you have any questions, by the way, put in the chat. I see Carl has already put a couple questions in the chat. If you have a question, just put question and then put it in the chat. All right, because we're gonna get to that. All right, so I'm going to share 5 tips real quick, 5 tips on becoming successful. So I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, actually over 25 years. I keep saying 20, but it's longer than that. It's over 25 years. And I've learned a lot in the process. And one of the reasons why I put these events together is to help people that are where I used to be, right? Because I didn't have this. Right. When I started, there was no internet or social media. Right. So I didn't have this. I had to pay a lot of money to go to live seminars. Right. So real quick, number one thing that I want to talk about is belief. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself, believe in your why you're doing what you're doing. Right. Because in entrepreneurship, if you don't believe in yourself and what you're doing, it's going to be hard for you because people don't always I guess, follow suit and understand what you're trying to do. Like when you're at the job, right? Everybody knows what you're doing, right? Everybody understands what you're doing, and right? So it's pretty easy in terms of just do it, and and eventually you'll get some kind of result. But in business, a lot of people think you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can just get a safe, secure job. Right? Why would you be doing this business? So you have to believe in yourself and believe in what you're offering people. So work on yourself more than you work on your business, right? Like, if 10 people say no to you, will you quit? Right? If will you quit? Right? Or will you realize that it's not for those 10 people? That's all. If 10 people say no to me, it's not for them. Right? But it takes a level of confidence to feel that way, because a lot of people quit thinking, oh, this is not going to work because 10 people said no. Right? So so that's number one. Number two is make sure your offer solves a problem or gives an outcome. Right? Don't just get into business thinking, I just want to make a fortune, I just want to make money. Okay. If you're like, I want to make money, how can I make money? That's the wrong way to do it. That's the wrong way to do it, because you probably won't end up making much. But then if you're thinking, I want to help people, and you found something to help people, the more you help them, the more the money will roll in. Trust me. I'm talking from experience, right? Now that I help people every day, the money follows me. But when I started, I was focused on just paying my bills, and it was hard to make any money. All right. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Okay. Number 3, you want to get support. Join support groups that help you. I'll give you a good example. A few years ago, someone asked me if I've written a book. I said, no, I haven't written a book. He said, you need a book. He said, it gives you authority. I said, well, I don't know how to write a book. He said, well, there's this group that you can join of authors. So I joined the group of authors, and guess what? I saw all these people that have written books. Every time I got on a Zoom, another person said, hey, I sold 10 copies today. I sold 15 copies today, right? Oh, my book became a bestseller this morning. So now I'm like, oh, I can do this, because I was in the world of writers and authors. And I wrote my book and I became a bestseller too, right? But it's because I surrounded myself with people that have what I want, right? You want to be around people that have what you want, right? That's very important, because like I said, there's really no support group for entrepreneurs, right? The job is a support group for people at the job. Because even if you don't like the job, you still have people there that are supporting you because you're in there together and you're getting paid as you go, whether you know what you're doing or not. But in business, you're not getting paid, especially if you don't know what you're doing, right? You could go 6 months without getting paid, or you can spend more than you make, right? So that's why you need that support. Okay. Number 4 is you want to invest in training and coaching. And I know this is one that a lot of people have a problem with. They're like, Eric, can I just watch free YouTube videos? You can, but the free YouTube videos probably won't give you the specific information you need to build your business. Right? I do videos every day. Like I have 800 videos on my YouTube, right? But if you want to really learn how to sell and upscale your business without being pushy and salesy, you want to get in my course or my coaching where I charge, right? Right, exactly. And that's just the way it is. So you want to invest. Now, don't invest more than you have. I mean, invest what you can afford. And then when you make money, then reinvest, right? So last year, I probably spent like 60,000 or so on training and coaching or masterminds, right? I can afford that now. When I started, I couldn't afford 60,000 to pay somebody, right? So, start small and then you can, invest more and more and more. All right. So invest in yourself, invest in your business. That's number 4. And then number 5 is this. I call it high tech versus high touch. A lot of people online focus on high tech, right? LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, right? They just want to get more followers, 1,000, 10,000, 15,000. And look, that's great. But if your focus is to get followers and likes, you won't make any money. Yeah, you'll have a lot of likes but likes don't buy groceries, right? Followers don't pay the bills. They don't. So what you need to do is focus on high touch. In other words, get to know people. Go to business networking events, meet people one-to-one, learn about them, right? So I mean, probably all my social media platforms, maybe I have 20, maybe 30,000, all my social media platforms, which is not a whole lot compared to some hundreds of thousands. But guess what? I've met one-to-one with thousands, one-to-one. Like I know them and they know me. That's the difference, right? You want to know them and they know you. If you just have a million followers, but you've never met one-to-one, you may not even be making a lot of money unless you're making money from the platform itself, right? And that can go away anytime, right? So you want to get to know people. Okay, so that's what I would share. So to help you out, I wrote an ebook for entrepreneurs. It's on the ebook. It says for coaches and speakers, but it's really for all entrepreneurs. 100 ways to build your business, to market your business. 100 ways. So if you want it, look in the chat there somewhere and you'll see the link. It's Success with Eric /100 ways ebook. Cole will put it in the chat, but pick it up, absolutely free. 100 ways. What I've learned over my 25 years, right, of building a business. You see, another reason why you come to these, you get free resources, right? I just gave you one, right? So don't say I didn't give you anything. I just gave you thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So now we're going to go to our next speaker. Thank you very much. Our next speaker, but before I do that, let me just shout out a few people. Oli, good to see you. Welcome. Sember, welcome. Lisa, good to see you again. Coral, wonderful to see you as always. Adeoye, good to see you today. Welcome to our call. Dr. Amaka is here. Good to see you. Jasmine, welcome. See, good to see you. Curtis, welcome. Let's see. Maria, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Adeoye, Lillian, welcome to the show. Let's see. And there's a lot more. If I miss your name, it's not intentional. There's just a lot of people. Cyrus, welcome. All right. So let me get to my next speaker. Hold on one second. All right. So let me get to my next speaker. So my next speaker is all the way in Nigeria, in West Africa. He is known all over the world for positivity in a negative world, right? We're in a negative world. And he found a niche because, again, he found a problem that people have, right? And he filled the need. He helps people. And that's why he's known all over the world for what he does. And when you hear him, you'll understand why. Right. Someone I've consulted with in the past, and he talks all over the country, and he has a big following as well. So without further ado, let's go out to Nigeria to hear from Zion Nagru. Zion, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Eric. It's always a privilege to be here. Firstly, I want to give a round of applause to all the speakers who have spoken, Leah, Amy, and to yourself, Eric. It's such a pleasure to be here, to be as a speaker and also to be as a learner too. When you come here to speak, I tell you, you're going back learning more. Why? Because this place is filled with so much value. And like Leah will always say, nuggets. I'm going to leave with some nuggets. So it's always powerful to learn. And I want to say happy Monday, Easter Monday to everyone listening to us today. Now, it's a very powerful topic because, like it says, success indeed lives close. There's always a roadmap to anything you want to do. And it's a powerful topic. And Mr. Eric, that was a mic drop when you said followers does not pay your bills. And that's true. It doesn't pay bills. You got to know people. And that brings me to my first point that says relationships are currencies. I learned this on my entrepreneurial journey to understand that just the same way the dollar has value, euro has value, or the pound has value, the naira has value, so also relationship has value. They are currencies that you can use to get anything you want to get in the world. So top entrepreneurs, what they do, they invest in relationship. They use relationship as a currency for them to get anywhere they want to get to. Because at the end of the day, it's a matter of who you know and who knows you. Who do you have relationship with? So what entrepreneurs do, they invest in relationship. Intentional investments. It's not, oh, I know you from a distance. Getting to know people. And I love the fact that Eric said he meets people one-on-one. And that's a game changer. So if you're an entrepreneur, you want to do something differently, you want to take your business to the next level, invest in relationship. Know other persons who are doing what you do. Get to know people. You're not knowing them necessarily because, oh, this is what I'm going to get X, Y, Z for them. No. Know them because you truly want to know them. And I tell you, there is so much that is born out of relationship, getting to know people. And one of my mentors will always say, people buy you not necessarily what you sell. So people will buy from you because they know you, because they trust you, because they value you. And by so doing, whatever you are saying, they don't even care to know what you are saying. As long as you are the one selling it, I will buy. That's why we have to invest on relationship. And relationship talks about the kind of people you are surrounding yourself with. The people you have in your circle. Who are the people that you learn from? Who are the people that is impacting in you? Who are the people that you are getting value and information from? So you must learn to invest in relationship. This is something most people do not do because we are all busy with our lives. We are all about business. How am I going to move my business forward? But one way for you to move your business forward is the ability for you to have relationship with people. People, everything revolves around people. People are the center of everything we do on earth. Be it business, be it relationship, you're looking for money or anything. It's all about people. And the ability for you to value people compounds and it comes back to you. As you value people, people begins to value you. My second point, or what you can do differently, you must understand as an entrepreneur that success is a team sport and not a solo game. I've seen people do things all by themselves. I've seen people, you have the idea, you have everything, but then at the end of the day, you are working all alone. You don't have a team, you don't have people you talk to. Like Mr. Eric said, you don't even have a community you belong to. Everything is just you. At the end of the day, all you know is not all there is. All you can do by yourself is not all there is to do. There's so little you can do by yourself. But the ability for you to have people surrounding you makes you do much more bigger. And that's why no matter what you do not play a solo game. Do not be a lone warrior. Do not be a lone ranger and try to face it alone or by yourself. Have a team of people you can work with, a team of people you can trust, a team of people whose vision aligns with your vision. It's a game changer. And in so doing, it allows you to delegate. When you begin to delegate, it stops you from being overwhelmed. It stops you from being everywhere all the time. Because why? You have people who can be able to help you push your vision, push your goals, and allow you to get to where you want to get. Then the third point is self-care. Top entrepreneurs prioritize themselves. Sometimes we can get so busy and we forget about ourselves. We make plans, we have vision boards. Oh, I want to build this house, I want to raise this business, I want to get this car, I want to do this. But at the end of the day, in your vision board, self-care is not part of it. One thing that can keep you sustainable for a long time to continue to make the impact, it's the ability for you to care for yourself. You are a priority, you matters. You are well means your business will be well. If you are sick, your business will be sick as well. Because when you are sick, you don't even think about business. All you are thinking about is you get well, let me get okay, But then the ability for you to prioritize yourself, create time for you. Why? Because you matters. As much as you are pushing your business, you are driving towards your goal, you have a vision you are running towards, make sure self-care is part of it. You matters. You are important. You are valuable. And the next point is, as an entrepreneur, one thing you must do differently, and that's really helped me, it's if you want to earn more as an entrepreneur, you have to learn more. Top entrepreneurs are learners. They are readers. They invest in themselves. They spend time to read things that can impact their lives. So if you want to improve your business, you want to improve your life, learn to read. For most people, oh, books are boring. I don't want to read. You don't want to read, but you want the idea. You don't want to read, you want to improve your business. Read, buy books. And that's why I mentioned relationships earlier. There are people around you who have written books. Mr. Eric is an author. Any myself, yeah, we have written books, we have e-books that you can learn from. True relationship, get these materials, learn from us. Because at the end of the day, what we are doing here, as much as we are giving value, it's just on a surface level. The time might not allow us to go deeper to what we want to share with you. But once you get the materials, you get the e-books, you can be able to learn more. And lastly, I will end with this. Top entrepreneurs, one thing they do differently is having a positive mindset. I tell you, it's a game changer. With a positive mindset, you can do anything. You become unstoppable, and nothing is too difficult for you. Because a positive mind will allow you to see the solution in the midst of the problem. It allows you to see the stumbling blocks as a stepping stone. It allows you to believe more in yourself and let you know that no matter what it is, you can achieve it. You can do it. You can become anything you want to become because you have the right mindset. And that's why I always say this. In positivity, there's endless possibilities. When you build your business on the foundation of positivity, you are sure being open to possibilities that are waiting. I will end with this. Thank you so much, Mr. Rick. I yield my back to you.
All right. Thank you. Wow, that was powerful. That was powerful. Folks, I put these events together and people think like, I just bring people to teach you all, but I learn from every speaker. I learn from every speaker. He was talking about self-care. Like, I don't think about that much, but I do now because people like Zion have brought it up, and that makes sense, right? You got to take care of yourself, right? So this helps us all. This helps us all, this kind of information. Thank you so much, Zion. All right, so let's go to the questions. If you have a question, again, write question and then put it in there. So our good friend Coral from across the pond asked, how do you separate yourself from others who are in the same field as you? That is a great question. And by the way, Leah, if you want to make a comment, just start speaking, and we'll know you want to talk. All right. Yeah. How do you separate yourself from others? All right. Go ahead, Annie.
I think it's easy to stay looking the same and sounding the same as everyone else. But I think my point earlier, we have to be innovators, creators of unique solutions that work better than anyone else's solution. That's first point. Once we create that solution, then we must deliver that solution. That's what gives us an identity. We are what we do, right? And of course, now it goes back to what we think as well. But if we don't do it, then we have nothing. The person that we think is the same as us, they're doing, right? We must learn to do. And again, my point about doing things your way matters, right? do think I dare to create a system that works, a way of implementing your solution that no one else has, because that's what's unique to us. So if I create a service which I have, the publishing business, for example, I know the love for our customers that we have. There's other publishers, of course there are. So why do people come to me? Because I do things my way. And my way essentially rests on loving my customers more than anyone else can. I will serve them as long as it takes, and do whatever it takes. That's how you separate yourself, and stay in your journey. Let them do things their way, at their speed, the way they want to do it, to who they want to do it for. You focus on your mission, and the world will realize that you are the solution that they need in good time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Go ahead, Leah.
Yeah, I love what you said, Eric. Every week we show up here and we all speak, but we all learn so much from each other. And I just appreciate that. Everybody brings gems, golden nuggets, diamonds, all kinds of precious minerals. I love this question. And I think what comes up for me is the more you speak your mind, the more you will grow your mind. So many times we think we have to have something all figured out. We need to have the secret sauce before we start to do anything. You are going to find your secret in doing. You may think something is your secret, your special sauce, but then as you start to really battle test it, you go out there and you share it, you start speaking about it, you're going to find that it's going to evolve. If you listen to these audios that we had a year ago, we probably all sound differently. We probably all look different, right? Because we've been growing ourselves. So don't wait until it's perfect. Don't wait until you have a blue ocean. Go out there and you'll find your blue ocean. Great question. Thank you, Eric.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Zion, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. Those are great responses. And Cora, I want you to know that you're already separate from people. You are different from people. They might be doing what you are doing, but they don't look like you. That's already a sign that you are separate, you are different from what you do. One thing I will encourage is be you as much as you can. People might be doing the same thing that you are doing, but they cannot do it the way you do it. That's something I found on my journey. And that's the reason why you must know the why you are doing what you're doing. Because I used to think I'm the one who is embracing positivity. I used to think I'm the only person who loves positivity. But like Leah said, the more I do, I saw more persons who are doing what I do. But I'm not getting distracted because they do what I do. I focus on what I do because what I do is unique to me. And another point is, one thing is, as you do, vision evolves, vision grows, vision expands. So the more you put in the action to do what you are doing according to your why, you're going to get wiser, you're going to learn, you're going to grow, you're going to become a better person, and then you begin to value the reason why you're doing what you're doing. So keep being yourself, focus on yourself. Do not compare yourself with what they're doing. They might be doing good, they might be doing well, but their journey is not your journey. So the ability for you to focus on your journey, to maintain a learning posture, to become better at what you do, it's key for you to be able to separate yourself, even in the midst of people who are doing what you're doing. So thank you so much, Mr. Eric. I yield my back.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Zion. And, to answer your question, Carl, what I'm going to say may sound very elementary. It may sound like common sense, but you have to care about people. You have to care about the people that you're helping, right? Like, you can't just treat them like a number, right? If you go on my website, studiospeaking.com, you'll see over 20 testimonials. And a lot of them actually talk about like how I helped them specifically, what I did, right? How I cared, right? It's, that's how I separate myself. I have zero competition. I have no competition in the world because nobody does what I do like I do it and helps the people like I help people, right? So you just have to really care about people. I remember my first studio event. You guys know I do studio events, and one of my speakers, she back at the time we weren't all in the same hotel. Now we're all in the same hotel. We have a transportation that takes you everywhere. But back then was the first one, so everybody was in their own hotels, right? So one of my speakers, I won't say her name because she didn't give me permission to talk about this. But she was in an Airbnb that was far away, far away. And she had we had a meeting, and then she had to go back, and it was pouring rain in the night, right? And she was scared. So I said, you know what? I'll drive you. I'll drive you there. She said, wait, but you have all this work to do for tomorrow, blah blah. I said, no. I said, people matter more than events. Like I want to make sure you're safe, right? So I drove her. I said, don't take any RB. I will make sure. I want to make sure you get there safely. And it was really like in the woods, like where Leah is right now, right? It was in the woods, right? And I took her there and made sure she was okay and everything. And after it was all said and done, she wasn't even talking about the stage. She just said, Eric, I can't believe that you did that for me, that you took me all the way there when you you left everything, because I care about people, right? Because I care about people, right? And when you care about people, you separate yourself from the masses, because a lot of people, they just want to make money. They don't care, like what people would say, well, that wasn't part of the package, right? You're on your own. But I don't treat people that way. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say, Carl. And Carl, I think I met you online, and you said how you saw I treated people, and that's what made us start working together, right? So just treat people with respect, with dignity, with integrity, and you will separate yourself, because there are a lot of people out there that don't have any of that. A lot of people that don't have any of that. So let's keep going. Let's see. Here's another question. Oh, from Carl as well. By the way, folks, if you have a question, put it in there. So here's the question. As a successful entrepreneur, what sacrifices have you made that others often aren't willing to do? That's a good question. And I actually have an answer for that, but I'm not going to say it because I want my speakers to go first. So who would like to share? Anybody? Go ahead, Annie.
Sacrifices. Where do you want to start? Everything that, look, I suppose I love what I do, so it doesn't feel like a sacrifice to me. It's just trying to find the best way I can work to deliver what I have to deliver for my clients and for my team and for the world. I do these events every day, so I have to show up right somehow. Biggest sacrifices. I've made myself nocturnal. I work at night when it's quieter, because I just get more done. So that's taken me years to become this way. But so working at night gives me a chance to achieve some of tomorrow's goals. That's the way I see it. But I'm so dumb. It's not true. I'm just doing more work, right? I'm just doing more and more work. What's the other one? I suppose in my early days, I have to admit, I missed out on my kids growing up, because I was working. I have learned I'm better than now, so I do make sure I spend time with my son every evening. I'm not willing to let my youngest grow up without me knowing who he is either. So those are huge sacrifices. Last I mentioned, my friends, is money. If you think your business needs money, be willing to put every penny you have into it and more, because that's what it takes, right? I used to love the days, Eric, when I get to, I need money, and I need money to pay the bill so desperately. If I don't get money in, we're done. The reason I love those days is simply because I had to find a solution. It makes you have to think hard, outside the box. Build on what Diane's saying, build those relationships, do some learning very quickly, make some friends very quickly. And these are all sacrifices that get us here. Again, I'll leave it with your point, Eric. You have to spend money to make money. Yeah, that's a huge sacrifice that every entrepreneur has to make sometime. So,
absolutely. Thank you.
Great golden nuggets, Annie. And I think about it this way, Coral. I don't ever consider it a sacrifice. To me, sacrifice is about limitations, lack, and poverty. I call it an exchange principle. You're exchanging something of value for something else for as equal or greater value. You're exchanging something of value for something that has equal or greater value. I'm out here in the jungle fighting off these lions and tigers and bears to be with you this morning. How many people would do this? And by the way, I am not a morning person. If I had it my way, my morning would start at 8 a.m. But here I am. It's not even 5. I don't even know what time. It's dark 30, and I'm here talking to all of you. And I have to be awake. Like, I'm not just here rolling out of bed just to, whimsy mamsy. I mean, I have something that I wanted to share. I had to think about it. I had to write things down. I had to take some notes so that I was prepared and organized. So I never think of it as a sacrifice. Think of it as you're exchanging for something else that you intend to get, which is, it could be money. It could be a better person. You want to be a better person for your family. Like, what is it that you really want that you're willing to exchange? I'm exchanging some sleep right now to bring value to all of you, right? So head it back to you, Mr. Eric.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Great points. Go ahead, Zion.
Wow, like my other wonderful speaker said, it's not sacrifice. It's the things you need to do. I think one thing that I did that really changed my life is the ability for me to put myself out there. I tell you, I used to think I'm an introvert. I used to think, no, I cannot stand out there and say anything. People will not listen to me. I'm very shy. I'm a very quiet person. I like keeping to myself. But because I was so hungry for growth, because I was so hungry to get better and become successful, I had to put myself out there. Was I comfortable? No. Did I like it at first? I didn't like it at all because I love my space. But putting myself out there was key. So you don't have to be sure. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I wasn't so confident in what I was doing, but I kept putting myself out there. And I tell you, that became a game changer for me. And secondly, start with what you have. There are many persons who they want to get to a certain level before they can begin. You can start with what you have. I think I've shared many times of how before I started speaking on stages like this, I was using my mobile phone. I would turn it sideways, slanted. I could not even change my background, but I still had to show up and be here. But today, I'm sharing now from my laptop. I could change my background. I could do all the things I have to do behind the scene. Why? Because I was able to start with the resources you have. So it's part of those things you have to do. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Don't wait for you to get bigger. Don't wait for you to have everything you need. Where you are, with the resources you have, you can begin to start. And I tell you, that's the way you can grow. That's the way you can get better. So thank you so much. That's my take on that.
Awesome. Thank you. So we have about 12 minutes. Zion, can you tell everybody how they can reach you? On social or wherever.
Yes, anybody that wants to reach out to me, I'm always on LinkedIn, Zion Inogiro, Mr. Positive Energy, the only person you can find there. So just search my name on the search box and reach out to me, and let's go on a journey of positivity together. I use other socials, but I'm very active on LinkedIn, so you can always do what to reach out to me there. So thank you so much, Mr. Eric.
Awesome. I want to say a few words on that question. Just like Annie said, for me, it's really not a sacrifice because, I love what I do. But I'll give you one example. I started a group, a meetup group in Maryland. So I live in Virginia. I started in Maryland because there are more business people over there I believe there were more people there. So I drove an hour and a half to this hotel, Hilton Hotel, and I rented a room for $250, right? And I invited like 40, 50 people. 8 people showed up, okay, which is good. 8 people showed up. And then after the event, they're like, oh, this was great. Like, how often do you do these? And I said, well, I just started, but if you guys will come back next week, I'll do it again. So they're like, sure. So I paid another $250. Now, I'm not charging anybody, okay? I paid $250, and that day, nobody showed up. It was just me, okay? So now I had a decision. I could quit. I could say, well, this is not working. This is too much money. This is too hard to work. But no, I went to the counter. I said, hey, I want to reserve the room for the next week. Actually, I said I want to reserve 4 weeks in a row. Why? Because I knew it would force me to invite people if I paid $1,000, right? So I paid $1,000 for the next 4. And guess what? I've never been the only one in that meeting again. And then we grew from Maryland to Virginia to New York to Philadelphia to Texas. We're in California. We're in Toronto, Canada. We're in Calgary, Alberta. We now have 4,800 people or so in the meetup now. We meet 3 times a week. If you guys want to network with us, Carl can put the information in the chat. And look at that. I could have quit. And that's how I met Coral. That's how I met Amberly, who is usually on this call. That's how I met a lot of people I've been working with that have led me to hundreds and hundreds of people, right? Because I made the sacrifice earlier on, right? So that's one example for you, Coral, that this stuff works when you believe in what you're doing. And also, I did want to say, and we won't take any more questions because we're wrapping up. Even though you all need people to be successful, you need people to buy your offer. You don't need any particular person. So don't let so if you're talking to someone and they're not interested, let them go. Don't convince. I don't convince anybody of anything. In fact, if you get on a call with me, the first thing I'm going to tell you is I am not going to try and convince you to do anything today. If it's for you, fine. If it's not, perfectly okay. That's a great way to start your conversations, folks. It's perfectly okay, right? And then the right people will come in and the wrong people won't. And that's good. Because if you convince someone to do something they don't want to do, they're not going to have a great experience. There'll never be a testimonial for you. They'll never, you know what I mean? It'll never work, right? So that's one thing I did want to share. So let's go around the room real quick. I have something special I want to say before we end. So don't get off the call, everybody. Okay, don't get off the call. I have something special. All right, Leah, can you tell us how we can reach you?
Yes, absolutely. If your money is acting a little funny, I would love to talk to you. A lot of times people tell me, you know what, Leah, let me pay off some bills and then I will get down and work with you. Let me figure out some things and then I'll make a strategy session with you. And that is like cleaning your house before the housekeeper arrives. You may be doing more harm than good. Let's get together. Let's have a chat. Let's see if we can get your money right. And this is your year to rise up and thrive. So you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, also on my Biz in a Box, which is a smart link at leahgarcia.io, leahgarcia.io. And I would invite you to download my free ebook, The Wall of Wealth. It's what your financial guru didn't tell you. And by the way, it is my one-page financial plan. Annie, it is one page. I'm going to show you how it's one page, okay? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you so much. Annie, go ahead. Oh, you're muted.
I was enjoying the conversation so much, I forgot to press the button, right? Look, so I just figured I'm on book number 11. I'm publishing this year already. I'm saying that's more than I did all of last year. So that's what I get joy doing. And if I can help you to write your book, publish your book, or market your book and make your book an international best-selling book, then let's talk. Of course, I've done hundreds of these events as well, so I help people with that too. But you find me on LinkedIn. I just put my profile link in the comments. As Eric said, I love to meet you, love to talk to you, love to get to find out what you do. If we can work together, then let's explore that. But first, let's be friends. Nothing happens unless you know people, right? So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So for me, LinkedIn is probably the best way to reach me. Eric F. King. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, all of that stuff. But LinkedIn is a great way to contact me. By the way, we've already had 6 people downloaded the ebook. So congratulations to you 6. If you haven't downloaded it yet, it's in the chat. 100 ways to market your business. 100 ways to market your business. Proven ways. All right. So I want to welcome, let's see, Ronald. Good to see you. A lot of people have joined since I called Miriam. Good to see you. Lori, good to see you. There's so many people here. Tolu, Kelly, Ardelia, Paulette, Owolabi, Rita, Michelle, Jasmine. So welcome from all over the world. We meet here every week, same time every week. Just brighten up your day to start your week off the right way, right? Again, it's something I wish I had back in the day. I didn't have any of this, right? I would love to wake up on Monday and somebody puts this together for me, right? So we do it for you guys. So as we end, I want everybody to have a sense of urgency on what they're doing in their life. When I started this morning, I said, be happy because you woke up. And then I looked in the chat, and Oli, I think it's Oli, wrote RIP Pope. So while we were on the call, the news came out that Pope Francis passed away. And he's done a lot for the world. Our heart goes out to him, his family, all the people that love and care about him. But his time is up. His time is up, right? So he's left a legacy. And we all, I'm no preacher or anything like that. I'm no Bible scholar, but we all have a birth date and an end date, right? So let's make the time we have here worthwhile, and let's have a sense of urgency. Everything I do with a sense of urgency, right? That's why I said, like in my videos, I said, click on the link right now. I'm not being bossy. It's just that people procrastinate. Everything's like procrastination. One day never comes, right? Have a sense of urgency about your life, not just for you, but for your family, for your kids, for your grandkids. Have a sense of urgency about what you want to do. So let's leave a legacy. Let's do something big. Let's do something bigger than we ever dreamed of. We all have it in us, right? Most people don't achieve 30% of their potential in life. Let's change that statistic. All right. So I'll leave you with that. So let's, prayers out to the Pope and his family and everybody out there. Appreciate all you the speakers that spoke today. Appreciate everybody that's been on the call today. Let's go ahead and have a great day and a great week, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. All right. It's been a pleasure, a plum-pleasing pleasure to be here with you all today. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.